Hi everyone, this is Kevin Sandhu with Fleetline Insurance Services. We specialize in all kinds of truck insurance. You can call us at 1 800 405 7421. 1 800 405 7421. We are California licensed insurance brokers and deal with all types of insurance, including new insurance, renewals. We have very competitive rates and 24/7 service. You can visit us at fleetlineinsurance.com. Friends, I always come from time to time with different videos covering all topics, not just insurance, but all topics affecting the trucking industry. So I come from a trucking background. I've been a truck driver, truck company owner before getting into insurance for over 2 decades, and so that brings me a lot of lot of experience, and there's a lot of knowledge that I can share with you from my own experience, from my mistakes, from everything that I've learned, and I try to keep myself updated on various issues affecting the trucking industry. So today we are going to talk about how to start a trucking business, how to start your own trucking company. So anytime, for any type of business, when you aspire to be self-employed, to go into business for yourself, it's very exciting, but it's also very challenging, and you get into a more responsible role of setting everything up. You want to make sure it's done right. You want to make sure you're the first stepping stone into the trucking industry is done in full compliance of the regulations, and you're not missing anything. So today we'll talk briefly about what you need to know before you start a trucking company, and what steps you should follow to start a trucking company, whether it's one truck or multiple trucks, but the process is about the same. So the first thing you need to do is to find a business name for yourself. And early on, I'm gonna tell you something, and that's very important. Please make a note of it. Never, ever start a trucking company in your personal name. And why I say that is, and a lot of people do that, and a lot of people have suffered doing that, because you're taking on a lot of liability when you're doing it in your own personal name without forming an LLC or a corporation. So essentially what you're doing is you're exposing yourself, you're exposing your personal assets, your family's assets, wherever your personal properties and all that, to the liability of trucking. Because trucking is when your truck is out on the road, it carries $1 million liability insurance. Unfortunately, if the liability of that claim exceeds $1 million, who do you think they're going to go after? They're going to go after the owner of the company and the assets of the owner. So when you're running a company in your own name, you're exposing yourself to the liability. So a lot of people have lost their homes, lost their personal properties in doing so. So always form an LLC or a corporation. When you do that, LLC or a corporation, they are an entity, a business entity in themselves. They're like a person. So as long as you're not mixing the funds, then that we'll discuss in another topic. As long as you're not mixing funds, your personal funds with business funds, and that line is clear, you have no personal liability if your truck liability claim exceeds the insurance policy limits. So they're not going to come after your personal assets. Your personal assets, your personal property is all protected when you form an LLC or a corporation. And so please form an LLC or a corporation. Check when you go, you can go to GoDaddy.com, or there are several different companies that actually help you form an LLC or a corporation. So they'll do all the paperwork for you. But if you want to do it on your own, just go to GoDaddy.com, go to other domain search, and search for the name of the corporation if it's available. Go to the Secretary of State and check for the name. But once you finalize your business name, you should register your corporation. Again, there are several companies that do it for you, or you can do it on your own. You can go to the California Secretary of State or your state website for corporations, for the Department of Corporations, and download the forms to file for the corporation. So once your corporation is filed and you get everything, all the paperwork in the mail or on email, then you need to apply for an employment identification number, or an EIN, which is basically like your personal, the business has its EIN just like you have your social security number. So anytime all the payments you receive, all the payments, all your accounting is done based on that EIN number. So you get that, and the EIN number is important and required before you open a bank account. So the next step, once you have your corporation or LLC registered and your EIN, is to open a bank account. So then you go to the bank, and wherever you would like to bank, just set up a bank account. So having done all these steps, the next step is to purchase a truck. So most of the guys that want to enter trucking industry want to start off with one truck, and it's, I think, a smart way to do. Get your feet wet instead of purchasing 5 or 10 trucks, unless you are somebody with deep pockets or great experience. But you purchase a truck, make sure the truck you purchase is good for the job that you're going to do. By which I mean, you don't want a very expensive truck if you want to run locally. You don't want to buy a couple of $100,000 worth of truck if you're not doing long haul. If you're doing container work, if you're doing anything local, maybe a used truck, a decent used truck, under $100,000 would be a good investment. And then if you're going long haul, then you probably need a new truck or a decent used one. But the more expensive truck you buy, you're going to have more liability. The payment is going to be higher. And if you're doing long haul, then you probably need to buy your own refrigerated container, a trailer, or a dry van based on the type of business you're going to go in. So you look for the right truck. That's what I focus on. Do not overinvest. Get the right truck that's going to do the job for you and make you money. So don't go for fancy trucks. This is a business, and your investment means a lot. More you invest, the more liability you have, more expenses you have for making that monthly payment. And then once you have the truck, of course, you're going to do financing or whatever. At that time, you need to get insurance for the truck. The insurance includes physical damage insurance to cover the value of your truck, liability or auto liability insurance, commercial general liability insurance, cargo insurance, or if you're doing reefer, then you need cargo with the reefer breakdown. And if you're hauling somebody else's trailer or container, then you need a non-owned trailer based on that company's requirement, who is providing you with that container or trailer. So for insurance, as I said, you can always call us, get a quote. Our number is 1-800-405-7421, 1-800-405-7421, Fleetline Insurance Services. You can go to our website, fleetlineinsurance.com, and fill out a contact form, and we'll be happy to provide you with initial quote. And once you have your insurance, then you purchase your truck, and you get your registration, because you won't be able to get possession of the truck if it's financed until you have insurance, and you won't be able to get registration done without insurance. So that's where the insurance comes in. So then you get your truck registered. You make sure your registration is correct. Because if you are doing local work within California, then you need a California base plate. If you're doing long haul, if you're running 11 western states, then you need an apportioned plate for 11 western states. If you're doing 48 states, then you need an apportioned plate for 48 states. So before you get registered, you need to know what type of business, or even before you buy a truck, you need to know what type of business you're going to go into. So you get the appropriate registration done. Now, if you're driving in California, intrastate, and you're picking up and delivering loads within California and excluding the containers ocean containers come under interstate. But if you're doing freight otherwise within California, then you need to get a CA number and a motor carrier permit number, MCP. And you also need, if you're doing long haul, then you need to get an MC number or a DOT number. So with the CA number, you need a DOT number, but if you are driving long haul or interstate, then you also need an MC number along with the DOT number. So there's a lot of agencies, a lot of truck permit companies that will help you do the paperwork. If you need help finding one, please do give us a call. 1-800-405-7421, and we'll help you find somebody professional that can help you through the paperwork process. So ask them to get you MC number, DOT number, and ask your insurance agent to do the filing for you, because your DOT number is not going to be active with the FMCSA until the insurance filing is done. And then if you are a local carrier within the state of California, intrastate, then you need to file for motor carrier permit. Your CA number and the motor carrier permit number are the same, but there's a separate process. You have to pay fees for it, and your insurance agent needs to do the insurance filing for that motor carrier permit. So then you get that done, and your MC DOT number based on your situation, or the motor carrier permit number, that's done. And one thing I forgot, when you do your registration, before you do the registration for the truck, you need to file for Schedule of Highway Use Tax Return 2290. You need to file that. It could be anywhere about $800 or so, plus or minus, for the whole year. So you need to file that, because for commercial trucks, the DMV will not issue you a registration until you have that Schedule for Highway Use Tax Return. So file that. And if you're going to be using employees or drivers for your business, then you need to get workers' compensation insurance. We can help you do that as well. Call us at 1-800-405-7421. So having done all that, now once you have everything under your belt, now you're ready to pick up your first load, and you can look forward to an exciting career and be profitable. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.